name's Dan. I'm going to talk to you guys about marriage relationships. How many people here either want to get married or would like to have a significant other? Awesome. So basically what I'd like to talk to you about today is how to have a strong relationship. Now a lot of this is based off of, let's say, experience, and some is based off of books that I've read in the past, and there's even a few factoids that I've found. Next slide, please. So one thing I want to tell you guys about, first and foremost up front, some of this stuff is going to sound a little bit religious, okay? It is not intended to be religious. It's not a sermon or anything. It's just that I have found that some of these things are actually true. So, the purpose of this is that it can help you with your relationships, any current relationships you have now, any relationships you're going to have in the future. Did you guys know that the divorce rate in the United States is 41%? And that's that's a lot, don't you think? Yeah. So basically what I feel like is I feel like the three most really important points in a marriage, if I were going to boil it down to three, there's way too many to be honest. But friendship, respect, and purity. Next slide, please. So friendship usually is the strongest foundation that you can have in a relationship. Why do I say that? Well, you know, when you're friends with someone, you have a lot of arguments, you have a lot of fights and whatnot, but you also have a lot of fun together. You know, and what happens is that you tend to work out most of your marriage dissolving, breaking issues before you even get into a close personal relationship with that person just by being friends with them. For instance, you can tell if, for instance, you like art and this person is completely against art, then you're going to figure that out pretty quick and your heart's not going to get hurt over it. Okay, yeah. Sorry. So, respect. Respect is something that I think everybody in the world talks about, but I think very few people actually understand what respect is. In my opinion, it is important that each person in a marriage relationship, both husband and wife, or husband and husband, or wife and wife, whatever, they have to have a deep, firm conviction that the person that they are with is strong and is capable of doing exactly what is needed to be done. Because the minute you start doubting that is the minute that you start feeling like you're going to have to do it all by yourself, you can't trust the other person. Lots of problems appear from that one. Lastly, self-esteem, really. Well, not lastly. Self-esteem. If you can't love yourself, you really can't love anyone else. So you have to have at least a basis of some form of self-respect for yourself, a little bit of pride. If you don't have these things, it makes it really, really, really difficult. Next slide, please. Last, but my favorite, purity. Well, what do I mean by purity? Well, obviously I mean no sex. Okay? Why do I say no sex? Well, it gets really simple. Okay? If you're going out on a date with somebody and you're dating this person, you're not necessarily living with them, but you're dating this person with the genuine interest of becoming married to this person eventually. If you remove sex from the equation entirely, it allows you to be you. A lot of people, they put a certain foot forward, everybody does, when they think that there's the possibility of having sex at the end of the night, they'll act a certain way. Guys will definitely act a certain way. Girls definitely act a certain way. And realistically speaking, that's not really you. So when you remove that entirely, you can even put it in the beginning of the date. Say, look, hey, we're just going to hang out. We're not going to have sex. It makes it so that you can be who you are. And it makes it so that the decision that they make on whether or not they like you is based on something that is real rather than a face that you've put forward. The other thing is that it's really important that if you are going to get married to this person, if you're dating this person, that you're being pure, or keeping your relationship monogamous, is staying committed. The first thing that can really just destroy it is if you go out to sleep with somebody else. Obviously, that's not going to work. Next slide, please. All right, so old school dating versus new school dating, or modern dating, as it were. Well, there's a lot of bad points that can be put in about old school dating. People can talk about all kinds of things like the marriages were arranged, and maybe you didn't really know the person, and a lot of times in families they did these marriages based on political or financial position. However, it's interesting to note that it's interesting to note that most of the people that dated back then, or not dated, but they were put together, those marriages tended to stay together all the way until death do you part. Just an interesting observation. Now we have the modern school and the modern dating, where people are, they fall in love with somebody, and then they fall out of love with somebody, and then they get divorced. Other things that are important, a common belief system, and I'm not speaking about just, a religion. Common beliefs. You have to be at least one on that. Stable income helps. Compatible life goals. Last, but most importantly, patience. You have to have patience. Without patience, you're not going to have a good relationship. Thank you.